We are not standing by. We're ready to go because this is the DLLS Dallas Stars post-game show. How was that? We were not caught off guard. We were ready. We got a signal to go. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Trying to get the hell out of here. Let's get this thing going.
Let's go. Sean's here. Lutz is here. Sam is over there. Let's go. Well, 7 goals on Monday night turned out to not be enough because they did it again. Maybe now the shackles really are off the Dallas Stars offense. That's something we'll get into tonight on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show alongside Craig Ludwig, sharing the internet with Sean Shapiro, and eventually Sam Nestler from the AAC. I'm Owen Newkirk. John Anderson is our very dour, dismal, and I believe profanely gesturing producer. It's not the first time he's done that tonight, is it?
I'm not happy right now, and I will not be participating in this show. I will not stand for Kevin Gray chirping me after every single goal all night.
And if anybody's going to get through your, stiff facade here of defense for the Bruins, it's going to be the vocal power that is KG. There's no doubt.
He'll Fushrodami into oblivion for the Skyrim players out there.
Well, we wondered if Monday night was a bit of an anomaly. The Stars were a team that was coming off a frustrating loss to the Winnipeg Jets, who've had the historically good start. They actually lost tonight for the second time this year in 17 games, which is obscene. But the Pittsburgh Penguins are a floundering team, and the Stars made them pay. Got a few good bounces, some questionable goaltending early, and they ran away with it. Tonight, they scored 7 against supposedly one of the better goalies in the NHL.
I think it's the color scheme of the jersey.
Black and gold.
Yeah, they're kind of reminding me a little bit out there of the Penguins. So, yeah, you know what? I think it.
All right, take it eeasy, Lutz. Don't stoop that.
Well, he's already fired up.
Wow. I don't know. The Bruins kind of look like the Penguins from the other night, just so you know.
I love it.
Yeah, it always helps when you get off to a good start early. And I think, and again, American Airlines, it's been very, very good to these guys, right? And so they like playing at home.
This is for Sean. I have to think if you're a Bees fan right now, you think the sky is falling.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
There you go, Sean. Just for you.
This guy's been falling for weeks with the Bruins, okay? This is not – they were like, 4-1-1 in their last 6, and then they played a real team and got destroyed. And then when the Stars play real teams, they get destroyed too. It's just neither team is in a good place right now.
Did you see John just called his Bruins not a real team?
You know what? It's funny. Hey, Sean, at the end of the second period, when the broadcast was going to break, they had a shot of Monty on the bench. Mm-hmm. And I thought of you right away because of the way the way you kind of characterized Montgomery, and I thought Monty's looking up there going, I got fired here once before too. I just wondered, is it kind of coming full circle again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the one that does it. I think it's a little bit too early right now, but yeah, you look at the way things are going, and Luds, you've pointed out multiple times, that team just turns the puck over all the time, and like the amount of defensive zone turnovers is bad. And yeah, it's you look at the Bruins and where they are because of how much the rest of the East is struggling. I think he gets a little bit more time, but this is not the standard of what Bruins hockey is supposed to be and where he's supposed to be doing and everything like that. So yeah, it is an appropriate feeling of the sky is falling clip does work for some people.
He just wants to hear that drop all night long.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it.
I know that you're going to have plenty of time here as Owen breaks everything down to react to. But I'd like to just give me 3 or 4 words. Your goaltending, not at the right end of the rink tonight, at the other end of the rink. Just want to get your quick thought on it.
Yeah. didn't adjust, let his team down late in the second period, and gave up way too much on the blocker side.
Okay. But and again, I'm no goal again. Well, no, I went through the goals at the end in the middle of the third period, and I was just kind of writing them down and trying to go back and think about them. And I don't remember. I mean, there was a couple. I know one that Jamie had his butt right in his face. I don't blame him on that one, but I'm thinking if you're sitting up there going this, and because my thing was where it came from is I was curious why he stayed in the game. I
have a theory. So I have a theory on that, and I don't know. And I haven't spoken to Jeremy Swayman about it, so I don't know about Swayman's view on it. But I had a conversation with last year. I had a conversation with Derek Lalonde, who's the Red Wings coach, and he talked about what it was like coaching Andrei Vasilevskiy. And one of the things Vasilevskiy told the coaching staff was, "You don't take me out of the game. If I let up 10 goals, I let up 10 goals. That's on me." And so I don't know. I haven't had that conversation with Swayman, so I don't know exactly his view on that. But there are some guys who have that starter's mentality of, I'm going to own this and I'm going to wear this. That's in the guy who's going to go into the Hockey Hall of Fame, won 2 cups, won multiple Vezinas. That's the way Vasilevskiy thinks. So I don't know personally how Swayman looks at it, but I did look at it that way. I was curious if there's a bit of that conversation at some point with Swayman and his coaching staff of, I'm going to wear this just like anyone else. And so I don't know if that happened, but I would be curious to have that conversation probably on a not tomorrow after Boston's practice, but someday after things have simmered down a little bit here.
Yeah, the reason I asked you that is because, Monty's hard on his best players. We've seen it with Marchand. We've seen it, Asta, obviously lately with Pastrnak. And I was just wondering if it's like he didn't think he was prepared to play tonight. This happened, a couple weeks ago against him. Hey, you're staying in there. But again, I was just curious.
Well, it goes back to like we talked about with Jake, where I said like each year, right? Like every goalie's going to get 4 to 5. Every goalie's going to get 6. Like if you're a starting goalie, you're going to have 5 to 6 really bad starts or whatever it is. And we talked about Jake getting them and everything. And for Swayman on the flip side, this is his 13th start. This is his, using the statistical analysis of it, this is his 4th, quote-unquote, really bad start in 13 games. For a guy who just signed for a ton of money and is supposed to be the rock on this team and everything like that, that's pretty damning right now. So let's put it like them changing goalies, they weren't going to win the game either way. And I think there's a bit of a message there of, you got to be better. We're not going to bail you out, and show us that you can go fight through this right now. And I think there's a bit of that message as well, where sometimes being harder on the goalie can be leaving him in than taking him out.
Okay. Owen,
are you ready?
You're getting fidgety, so I'm not sure if you're ready to go there. You got to pee your pants or something like that. But let's just go.
No, I'm just trying to see.
He's sitting over here. The papers are flying. He's moving his feet around. He's like, guys, let me go. Let me go.
No, I'm just still mad at my
Let's
scooter
start
today.
talking quality scoring chances.
You're going to get about 2 goals into this, and Sean's going to tell you to shut up.
That's okay. And then I'm going to have to cut off his mic, and we'll all be happy, and that'll be fine. No, honestly, to me, we don't have to go goal by goal if we don't want to. But what I would say is, we've been really hard on this team for not starting on time. Tonight, they started on time, and they started with the Duchesne line, who came to play, as they always do, and it wasn't the first minute. It was 69 seconds in when Duchesne scored, but that line from the press box tonight was dynamic every single time on the ice. All of them were. Seguin didn't get a goal, but boy, was he getting great chances and setup plays. Duchesne obviously scored the first one. Marchment looked like he was Adam Oates out there, just slinging passes around. I said it to you 10 minutes ago. Mason Marchment looks like he's playing with the most confidence I've ever seen him play.
That's the perfect word right there, is confidence. They have the confidence in themselves. They have the confidence in each other. And they seem to be, and again, it's not, Sean will remember, you probably don't remember the Stastny's brothers when they played together, but the Stastny's, when you played against those guys, and there's Peter, Anton, and Marion, but they were on the same page, and you could tell it was like they were triplets, and they had that ESP going on. I feel that way with these 3 guys, and I think they do too, because they find spots, they know where each other are going to go. They lead with passes where they know, hey, you just go there. It reminded me also when Zubov was talking to Hull one day, and Hull was talking about a certain spot he had to get to, and he said, Zuby said to Hully, he goes, Hully, you just go where you want to go. I'll get you the puck.
Yeah.
It's going to be there, and it's the confidence I think those three guys have.
So, Sean, between the first goal and the second goal, Jake Oettinger made 2 high danger saves. One against Charlie Coyle on a one-timer where he was moving side to side. Oettinger was. And then on Cole Koepke on a 2-on-1, we took the shot. I mean, that's huge because it could be a 1-1 hockey game easily there. Those are the 2 big ones for Jake in the period. And then, of course, Dadonov goes off on the breakaway and gets the penalty shot and scores his 4th career NHL regular season penalty shot, which is tied for the 4th most. There's only 4 players in league history that have scored more penalty shot goals than Evgenii Dadonov. I did not have that stat in the back of my memory. I thought that was really remarkable.
Yeah, and he's 4 for 5 too, right? Like it's the spot where it's the now obviously penalty shots aren't that frequent, so if he had more than 5 attempts, that would actually even be, I don't know, be more. But the fact is, the other thing, like that's just kind of for a penalty shot, right? It's you got to be the guy that was fouled on it typically, right? Now, unless it's one of those weird ones where a defensive player covers the puck and closes their hand in the crease or whatever. So it's a reflective thing of Dadonov's career, I guess. Like we see him create a bit of havoc, we see him get loose, and he makes up for it, and he finishes that way. I didn't go and watch all of them, but you saw this one comes in and scores high blocker. His other one with Dallas, he goes in and scores high blocker. I saw one other one from I think it was with, I can't remember which other team it was with, but another one high blocker. But so he knows what to do in that spot, and so credit to him. And it's you're right, Owen. I would not have, if you had said give me a list of the top before tonight. If you had said, hey, go name the top 10 penalty shot goal scorers in NHL history, I would not have guessed Dadonov at all. So, kudos there.
You see Jokic in the shootout.
It's very just almost automatic. Yeah. Now, Sean, the consistent shot here is blocker because that was Duchesne's shot. Dadonov went over the pad under the blocker on the penalty shot. We can go through some of the ones later, but it seemed like they were targeting that side of Swayman.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the book on Swayman, right? He's historically been a really good goalie this year. He's struggled, but part of the book on him is you're going to, and we were texting about it in our group text about it. Like one of the things that I was really interested, overly nerdily watching about is Swayman plays a more old school traditional style with his stick placement. His stick stays on the ice the entire time. If you watch Jake Oettinger play, right, Ottinger's stick almost hovers on the ice until he goes down. And so Ottinger's effectively has way more movement and hand usage in his blocker, and that's become a little bit more common. But Swayman plays a little bit older style, so effectively his blocker is a little bit more anchored to the ice at times. Now, it's made him a better goalie on the ice, 5-hole wise. He's incredibly, you talk about why doesn't he get beat down low? That's one of the reasons he doesn't get beat down low. But one of the trade-offs is it creates a little bit of a slower reaction time up top. And so now part of that is some good shots by the Stars, like take nothing away from Duchesne's shot there. And I think there was also a little bit of Swayman kind of losing his angle a little bit tonight. Like, let's call that what it is. The goalie started giving up way more than he should have. And I think he's a guy who, and Luds, I'd be curious from your perspective, this on a player. Swayman to me is a guy who's dealing with something this season he's never dealt with before. He has to be the guy. It used to be with him and Linus Ullmark. You know what? It's 1A, 1B. The other guy literally won the Vezina. Now he has to be the guy. He's got all the pressure to be the guy. It's no longer I've got another guy who's also going to play the next game no matter what. So and Swayman's also a guy who, workload-wise, he's been a number one goalie before, like he was in college and everything like that, but he's never played more than 44 games in a regular season. And that's just the reality. That's one of the risks for the Bruins with this contract. The Stars, we've talked about Ottinger's overusage before, but Oettinger at least has played all of that, has at least played the amount of games where you're like, oh, I can trust him to play 65 games. Swayman hasn't done that. So he's in a spot pressure-wise and mentality-wise for a season that he's never been in before. And he's starting to struggle, and he is struggling this year. And Luds, I just wanted to pick your brain just as someone who's played in this league and looked at it, where when all of a sudden the outside pressure and that dollar amount and that contract, it's a very human thing where you start to think about way more things than you were in the past.
Well, first thing, Sean, I never had a huge contract, so that was never a worry to me. It was more about how was I going to pay my bar tab.
Somehow you always found a way.
Yeah, I have. Free most of the time. No, you know what? I think the guys that get the big money, they know they're getting the big money. You know what I mean? Like I think they expect it, and I think it's why they get it. There's been players that I've seen that have put some pressure on themselves, but I just think the big guys are the big guys, and they're the big guys, and they're the ones that get the money for a reason. They can handle it. When it comes to big contracts, to be honest with you, the first thing I think about is now, well, not now, I guess in the last 10, 15 years, is that these guys are surrounded by good people. So when they get the big contracts, they still have the big contracts when they're done. It wasn't like that, back when we played. It was like, how can you get rid of it so quick? So mine all went on my friends, so I hope they're all happy.
But the other thing, Luds, too, right? When you played, it wasn't contract disclosure. I think it had been out there, but like contract disclosure wasn't as public, right? Like we're talking about Jeremy Swayman, $66 million goalie, right? There wasn't, that number isn't going to be every single Boston newspaper, every single radio show, every single TV show tomorrow will be, that number will come up, how much money he's making. That's the other thing I think that's changed too, where it's probably better for players where everyone's making more money now because of that open market and everyone being very public. But at the same time, it's changed how players get viewed and impacted. Before, like if you go and watch you guys play in the late 90s, it wasn't, Madonna's making this much money or Zuby's making this much money. We didn't know how much money they made. It was just, they're good players. So.
Well, and now there's more guys making a lot of money, right?
Yes,
I mean, it's not. But back in the day, it was like 2-3 guys had it, and so you kind of pinpointed those guys all the time. And Madonna was the cheapest of all of them. But anyway, we got a break.
But he digresses.
Yeah.
We will talk more about the game as the Stars win 7-2 over the Bruins in just a minute here, as you are watching the DLLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
Little booze talk
it's
again.
Right there.
Right in front of me, just calling me, staring at me.
If Sam even smells it, he gets a contact.
I know. It's just kind of teasing you over there.
Oh, it is.
Herman Marshall, founded in 2010. Herman Marshall, Dallas County's first legal distillery since the repeal of Prohibition. Herman Marshall Whiskey aims to preserve the legacy of Herman Beckley and Marshall Lewis with its commitment to community, quality, and innovation. Located in historic downtown Wiley, Texas is proud to partner with the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas on a single-barrel expression of its signature straight bourbon whiskey. The Guns N' Hoses Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing immediate financial assistance to the families of fallen police officers and firefighters lost in the line of duty. They're built from the grain up through family, fellowship, and friends. So for every bottle of single-barrel straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas for those who went before. So stop in to your closest goody-goody liquors and other fine retailers.
Let's talk about Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. We're talking about sporting events, concerts, theater, comedy shows. We like them all. Use Game Time Picks to filter out the fluff so you can find only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. One of the great things about Game Time Picks is you can see your seat view on a panoramic basis on the app and before you even buy it, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, you get things like all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Hey, up in the loft, what time is it? It's game time. There they go.
Sorry, my bad.
They were just a little.
Wow.
They were focused on the Mavs, as they should be. It's their job.
funny. When we're up there, they're not watching the show. They're bugging us. Now they're watching the Mavs.
Yeah, well, maybe we're distractions for them.
Got to be something.
All right, so let's fly through the rest of the game recap because we have nearly another Matt Duchene goal right at the start of the second period. He had a wide open shot on the rush from the right dot. Swayman made a good save there. Otter had a pretty good save from Geeky. You know, I actually want to go back real quick because we failed to mention the Jamie Benn penalty, the hit on Brandon Carlo behind the net, and the subsequent fight with Zadorov. They called a major, which I think the refs rightly did, so they could review it, and then they turned it into a 2-minute minor for boarding. Aside from the fight, which were two very large men trying to hit each other, the view for me was conflicting because the live angle low on the ice, it looked really bad. But the overhead behind the goal camera didn't look so bad to me. What were your thoughts about the hit?
Well, I saw the angle that didn't look so bad. And, the camera was right there from behind. Jamie hit him below the waist. And so it wasn't even, from what I saw, his shoulder, his body, his elbow didn't hit Carlo from in the back area.
Like in the numbers?
No, right.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I hear that all the time. I just can never think of that stuff. Yeah, he didn't hit him in the numbers. So, but he hit him. It was almost like hip to hip. Mm-hmm. And Jamie knew where he was, and he knew that he didn't want to run him from behind. But I think, I don't know if Carlo wasn't sure that there was somebody coming because I was surprised because I didn't think it was a real hard, deliberate follow-through hit. He was just going to finish his check, so to speak. And then he kind of buckled a little bit and went down. And so he hit his head, I think, on the glass.
Yeah, it went, I think, face first, Sean, right above the dasher. I don't think it was into it.
No, it wasn't.
Still, it was an awkward one. And he was down for a while. The fight happened. It separated. And Carlo was still down, helped off. But he did come back and play later in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the other part you have to account for is Carlo. You watch that back. Carlo's attempting to throw a bit of the reverse hit, too. So it's like you have to give the way it all happened for Benn's perspective. What else is he really supposed to do there? The guy's throwing a bit of the reverse hit, and if Jamie doesn't hit him, he's effectively taking more of that. So it's the right call. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as the injury made it look, but it's the right call, I guess, for boarding. So
a rapid fire second period. The Stars got 3 goals in the final 6 minutes to go from 2-1 up. Charlie Coyle scored a goal late in the first period. It was a really nice play by the Bruins to go hard to the net. I don't know if you like the way the Stars defended that because Coyle ended up with basically a dunk at the crease on a pass across by Trent Frederick. But those goals in the second were Stankoven, Oscar Beck gets his first NHL goal, and then Dadonov gets his second of the game. And they all had interesting elements. The Stankoven goal came into a wide open net where Jamie Benn had provided such a screen that Swayman didn't even know where the rebound was. The first shot was blocked in front of him, and it fell to the side, and he never reacted. So Stankoven got it, had a whole net to shoot at. The Oscar Beck goal was a one-handed poke shot, which, again, was just an improvised trying to get something on it, and it goes up over the shoulder and in for his first NHL goal. That was pretty exciting. And when Jeff Kay announced that it was his first goal over the PA system, the building gave a huge ovation. That was really cool.
I'm cooler for him.
Oh, yeah.
To get that first one and have the fans there, be able to do it at home, not on the road. So, yeah, it's a big moment for young players.
And then the Dadonov one, Sam Steele made a really nice pass from the sidewall across the high slot, and then he just showed incredible patience, Dadonov, Sean, to wait, and then he picked Swayman high over the blocker instead of low blocker this time. It was a heck of a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Dadonov was great tonight. Like, we talked about the penalty shot earlier. We talked so much about that Sagan line and what they've been doing and everything like that. But I mean, Dadonov has been, not quietly, but he's been really good this whole season for me. And just tonight's kind of a good example of, Luds likes to talk about how you see those veteran guys seize opportunities and kind of take that step. And I think we've seen a lot of that with Dadonov, and just good player. Like, he's been really good.
I would think that he's a great player for Pete too, because it doesn't matter where you play him. I mean, you can put him on the top line if you need him there. You can put him on the bottom line, and he knows who he is and what he does, and he doesn't really change his game.
He has the skill to play with high skill guys, but he has the work rate and the style to play with fourth line grinders. and not really look out of place in either one. And that's
and
a
I think
really good thing to have.
And he's happy playing either place.
I don't think he cares. I think he just wants to play and contribute. And, and he's in his 30s now. He's trying to win a cup.
Yep.
Third period goals, Rope Hintz went to the net.
Yeah.
And that was a really important goal. If you want to break that down, we can do that. But Hintz scored his 6th of the year, just 47 seconds into the third. A couple minutes later, David Pastrnak scored on a really nice shot. Matt Duchene actually slipped and fell, created the turnover. You can't give Pastrnak a shot from there. He's really, really good. And then, look, for a 6-2 game and then a lot of scoring chances, couple high danger ones on either side.
Did somebody just score again?
And then, there is scoring in basketball. It does happen.
Oh, yeah, I've
once
never
in a while.
watched a game.
And then Mason Marchment added one icing on the cake. Dadonov actually had a chance for the hat trick on the power play late, but it didn't get much on it. But, boy, that Marchment goal was literally the exclamation point. The Stars, for the first time since the team moved to Dallas, score 7 goals in back-to-back games. They haven't done it as a franchise since 1982. That is a heck of an offensive explosion for a team that had kind of struggled to live up to their own high expectations.
You said it earlier. The word is confidence, and I think they're feeling it right now. But let's temper a little bit. There's a team in Pittsburgh that they did that too. This team in Boston, they were in the top 3 in the league in turning pucks over, 4th overall all over the ice, 3rd overall in their own zone. So you were going to get some opportunities. I think they had 22 giveaways tonight, so that's a lot.
Sean, what do you feel about the totality of this one? Can you hang your hat on that and feel really good, or is this also a Boston team that isn't really as good as they want to believe they are?
Well, I think I said it on Tuesday after the Pittsburgh game, you were like, okay, well, how do you bottle up what happened in Pittsburgh and move forward with it? And I was the one who said, show me the consistency, go out and do it another game, show this again. And so they did it. You go out, you start a game great, you do that, you bottle some things up. So to me, it's, if you want to put games in vacuums, you can, but no, I asked after the last game, okay, that's great. It was a response. Now go do it again. And they did. So that's the building block of this is where this team continues to go as you okay, are you going to build yourself back into that contender status? Because not that they ever fell out of quote unquote Western Conference contender, but we saw what the Jets did. We saw what some other teams did, and we saw the Stars are playing, and you could have easily kind of questioned are they going to be in that upper echelon? But now you do this in back-to-back games, you start to build, you're like, okay, it was just some things they had to work out, and now they're putting it all together. So to me, it's not a one-off or anything like that.
Yeah, I think you have to reset after every game, though. And again, I think these are things they're learning along the way. And but it sure is. I think some of the guys, as far as squeezing their sticks and feeling a little pressure and things aren't going the way they expected. And you played a couple of the clips from the coaches, before the show tonight, and they all realized where they were and thought it was going to be that switch they could just turn on. Not like that. So now I think that they're probably feeling a lot better. You come to the practices in a different mood, and you leave the rink and you look forward to getting back to the rink because I think everybody's starting to kind of feel like the Duchene line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they can't wait to get to the rink and put the skates on and go. And I think the rest of the guys are probably getting that feeling a little bit now too.
Sean, you weren't on the pregame show tonight, but we played a couple cuts from Steve Spott's availability yesterday after practice. And a lot of the conversation was, they've been using this mantra of one rung at a time. And Pete's been hammering that from the beginning of training camp, that we don't expect to just be going back to the Western Conference final. We've got to go through the process. But one of the things, and Steve Spott said this, and we played it in the pregame, was they didn't expect their offense to be a problem earlier this season. The last 2 years under Pete DeBoer, they've been one of the highest scoring teams in the NHL. They expected some lumps in the road, some speed bumps, but not scoring goals. And that's been a surprisingly difficult obstacle at times for this team early this season.
Yeah, because it's also sometimes when you look at the way this team was built, and we've talked so much about the defense and figuring out solutions on that front end, you kind of thought okay, well, it might take a little bit to figure out the defense, but the offense would be there right away because you had, especially with that You had everything kind of. You kind of all that. I mean,
Is
I know it
this
was
the NBA Finals?
It is. It's the most important game the Mavericks have ever played. Keep going, Sean.
It was a terrible. It was a terrible point. That's why they said, "Come on, that this is drawing."
They can't stand your take there.
They can't stand how bad this commentary is on the fact that
they're mad, Sean, because they're not in the lounge. They're not in the lounge tonight. They're back in the closet tonight, so they're mad.
Yeah, but the roles are reversed on Saturday night.
I know
we're
where
back
we're going.
over there.
We're going right back where we belong.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anything I said was picked up on audio or not, but
that is a great time for us to tell you that up next we're going to Super Chats, regular chats on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
So you guys in the lounge and you have Empire Today flooring? Is that what you have right
now? Yes, we are sitting on top of the flooring.
So yeah, I'm gonna use you guys as a quick assist because I obviously haven't seen that beautiful flooring in person, but I know you guys have raved about it and everything like that. So let me tell you about with Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, and quick and professional installation at a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So of course they have copycats. Just like the NHL, it's a copycat league. But Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, speed, so competitors may advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DLLS for details.
All right, let's talk about Shady Rays. Thank you, Sean. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor activities. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style, and they probably have ones in your team's favorite colors. I wear them in the car. Very sunny around Dallas. You're going to want to have them. Plus, they're very durable, and if you ever have a problem, they're backed by lost or broken replacements. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, let's chat it up. Let's go to
Bing bong.
YouTube and hear that? We've got ourselves a super chat to start it off, and it's Spaghetts. A super chat that says Madonna Stanley Cup year $9.99. On the train home, but wanted to make sure that producer John had some funds to help him forget that one. How about that?
I mean, two game 7 or 1 game 6, 2 cup losses in the last 15 years, 1 win. Don't think there's been any of those for the Stars, so I've gotten over worse. I'll get over this.
Man, Jesus, he had all that right on the tip of his tongue. That's been bothering you for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
nothing bothers me.
You guys got one.
Look angry?
Yes. He looks very, very upset.
Hey, by the way, are we going to hear from your friend again like we did in the pregame show?
Yes, we will do that at the end of the show.
Oh, we will. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Don't let him forget that.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about it earlier.
Did you have a response?
He had one of them cocky Boston guys. Did I have a response? I got a response.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, I got one.
So, Sean, if you didn't see it in the pregame tonight, a buddy who is a very stereotypical Boston sports fan had a video for us that chirped Sagan, Otter, Dallas overall, not the Stars, just Dallas.
I mean, do we want to just play it now instead of recapping it now and then do it?
Well, I think we should play it now. We can play it at the end of the show. We'll leave on that too.
Go ahead.
So
Sean needs to hear it.
Here's what we aired in the pregame.
Okay.
Tyler Sagan, Otter, Craig Ludwig, Dallas. Let's go, Bees.
Hey, Max.
And then, I guess it skipped straight to it, but this was Luddy's response to my friend Max there.
Hey, Max.
That's perfect.
Do you want me to tell everybody what I said? No, probably not.
No, that's why we had to bleep it. You can't.
Why don't they super chat in what they think I said, or chat it in, or whatever you guys call it?
We have more super chats.
Oh, do we?
Oh, yes, we do. I'm just scrolling here, and I realize that I do not need to grab these because we've got super chats. I love Misty, super chat. Look at this. It's another Madonna and Stanley Cup year. I love Misty 1985 says, congratulations to Oscar Beck on his first NHL goal. Well deserved because he's looked really good when he's played.
He has. And Pete talked about it. You know, he's a guy that you can just trust. He knows what he's doing. He's a young kid. He feels comfortable when he's in the lineup. And there's really, it seems like there's no concerns about how he's going to play. He knows exactly who he is for a young player.
Yeah. And it's nice to get one out of the way, as we were talking about earlier, just to now you're not gripping it so much for that first goal.
And you talked about how he scored the goal. Don't think he didn't know what he was doing. He poked at that and chipped at it so he could elevate the puck. I truly believe that, because if he just kind of redirects it, it's probably going to hit part of his body. So, no, he didn't pick the corner or anything like that, but I think he poked at it to get it up in the air, make it a little bit more difficult to save.
Well, it's a heck of a skill play to do that one-handed with the puck and your stick at an angle. And
that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
And he's a good story too, because he's a guy where, so you got to remember, he's 24. Yes, he's a rookie, but he was drafted. It's been 6 years since he's been drafted. He spent 3 years in Texas. I don't know for sure, but he's a guy, we've seen guys in his spot before who you go through your 22, 23-year-old season and you're from Europe and you don't get that NHL opportunity. And a lot of them just end up going back to Sweden. And so credit to him on kind of sticking through the not getting the opportunity the past couple of years and sticking with it. And so that's part of the story too, because it's one of the classic things where this is a guy who it's a third round pick in 2018. And I don't know how often we rip on drafts and we talk about misses and everything like that. And so is a guy becoming an impact player 6 years later I think that's also a good reason to remember when we start grading drafts of the patience here, because that's for that 2018 class all of a sudden looks a little bit better. Now it took 6 years, but it still looks a little better.
I'd just like to say that our producer usually, John, steals a microphone from the other room so he can talk. And because the Mavs are about to do their post-game show on their YouTube channel, he had to go give it back to him.
It's a good thing.
That means that if John wants to chime in, he now has to shout from over there. And it's not going to be. He's going to try to do the KG and make it a little louder.
The other thing with back to just to think about, because that draft was in Dallas too. So it's kind of a fun, you think about that spot and you kind of a career spot. And he actually was at the draft in Dallas in 2018. So he goes, if you had told him that 6 years from now in this building you would score your first NHL goal, I think that would be, I don't think he would have hoped it took that long, but it is kind of a cool full circle thing.
That's why these guys are good reporters and write these articles and bing bong.
We have another
Where's
super
that
chat
from now?
It's another super chat.
Oh, I thought it was something I said again.
No.
Okay.
Super chat Ben says 1/99. Who's number 1 for the Stars? Is it DeSmith? So DeSmith and then Cup championship year. How about this, producer John? Bruins suck. He gave a thumbs up. There, he showed this picture there. How about trolling his own employee? John writes in, Miro and 99. Another good night when Dumba is out. Is Lud's burner accounts wish going to come true? For those of you that don't know, we showed on the show the other day that somebody had created a fake Craig Ludwig account, which was clearly not him, because what did it say? What was the Matt Dumba? It was, yeah, so the actual handle, even though it was Luddy's face, was Trade Matt Dumba. So, look, 2 games, the defense has given up 3 goals.
Are we going there now?
They've scored 14. No, I think that it's okay for the coaching staff to say, look, I like the way this group of 6 looked. We're going to play him a couple. Is it all that? I mean, look, Matt Dumba played for the Minnesota Wild. will it be all that shocking if he doesn't play on Saturday?
Who's he going to take out?
That's what I mean. I thought Nils looked even better tonight.
Yeah.
16 minutes plus 3, had a couple shots, played well on his end.
Defended on a 2-on-1 pretty well.
Yeah, he's been good. I think he's you know what? He's plays 16 minutes. He's not playing 8 or 9 or 3. He's feeling a little bit more confident and comfortable in what he's doing. And that, you know what? They're giving me a chance, you know, and he doesn't have to go out and put on a show. And I think that he's probably been told to just play within yourself. We want you to get involved offensively. You can do that, but take care of your own end, which he's doing. And he's making the right outlet passes right now, I think, too. I think that's important for a young player to earn the confidence in your coaching staff as you're making the right plays.
Let's go to the next super chat because it has to do with the same topic. Ardell writes in a little Lundqvist Smith. Smith and Lundqvist look solid together. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dumba in the press box for his Minnesota homecoming.
I mean, is he really in love with Minnesota? I mean, they didn't want to bring him back.
No, but when a player plays somewhere for a while, they always get up for those games, don't they?
Yeah. But, I mean, again, if that's the route they want to go. But like I said, if things are clicking right now, do you want to really stop it? You're still got a couple teams, and this is talking about a team that you need to pick up points on, right?
Well, after the first 2 opponents this week, and due respect to Pittsburgh and Boston, but Sean, isn't Minnesota the toughest opponent they'll have this week, right? At least by current form?
Based off record and how they've been playing, yeah. Like that's the I don't know about how it'll look at the end of the season, but like Minnesota, right? Kaprizov's playing on if McKinnon and Makar weren't doing what they were doing, like individually in Colorado right now, Kaprizov would be the biggest individual story in the Central right now, like with just how he's carrying that team and what he's doing and the way he's playing right now. So yeah, like this is a really good hockey team. You're not you're trying to win hockey games. You're not trying to give emotional like gift baskets. So
yeah, I think that it also is interesting because typically when you give big money, and it's not, top of the line D money, but it is still decent free agent money over a term. You usually expect those players to be in the lineup because you're paying them a lot. And I really like that they are right now, at least, trying to get the best group going regardless of contract.
Yeah.
To a point.
I mean, I think we go, this is great right now, and let's move on because it's only been a couple games. Yeah. So there's a long stretch to go here to see how this unfolds.
Bing bang. We've got another one. Actually, we've got a couple more. Another one. This one's another Miro 99 from I Love Misty 1985. Shout out to Sean for his article on goalie stick positioning on Shap Shots. How about that? You got a little
cross-brand promotion
on DLLS about goalie stick positioning.
Cross-brand promotion. Thank you.
Okay, I got to ask. Shap Shots? Is that yours, Sean?
Yes, that's
how did we come up with Shap Shots?
How did we come up with
his last name, Shapiro, Shap. Yeah. It's like
is that your last name?
Like
I didn't even know what the hell his last name
Shap
was.
Shots.
It's Sean. Oh, there it is. It's on the banner right there.
It is right there, and it's wiggling around now too.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't know.
It's true.
So, that's
it's
fine.
Okay to ask.
For me, the bar is as long as I'm known who I am. Like, I mean, there was the time where it was who the heck is Tim Cato? So like, Tim Cato is unknown. So I'm more well known than Tim Cato. So I'm happy. That's
and by the way, Sean, I can't read those articles. I'm not a Bing Bong, or I don't have the program.
You totally can, but you've got to figure out how to sign in. That's all it is.
Like I said, I can't read them because I don't.
He's not on the Slack, and he hasn't gotten a HelloFresh box yet.
It's one of them things where I see it, I click on it in the
That's right.
texts and all that stuff, and then you get about a half a paragraph, and it fades to white.
Once again, we've got to get you signed in so then you can read all of it.
Well, I'm not missing much. I don't.
We have another super chat, the last one of this one. Thank you for all of them. A little Lundqvist Labushkin tonight from D Stars Die Hard. First for 10, talking about Oscar Beck. How long till Maverick Bork gets to NHL speed as a rookie? Keep him sitting? How hard is it to adjust? Stanley picked up fast. I think he means Stankoven.
I think they're talking about Stankoven, yeah.
Yeah. But
they're different players.
Maverick, it's something that was said yesterday with Steve Spott. We didn't play that particular clip because I already clipped 3 of them. And then Pete said it today. You can't judge NHL development by Wyatt Johnston or Logan Stankoven because that's not the norm.
Everybody develops at their own pace. You would love to fast track it, and it doesn't work that with everybody. I think those 2 guys that you just mentioned are, they're special players, and Maverick will probably be at some day, but he's going to get his opportunity, and he'll have to do exactly what Nils is doing, is take advantage of it and give the coaching staff a reason why they're not going to take you up out of the lineup.
I just want to throw in, thank you for all the super chats. Some of the regular ones I was skimming earlier. Somebody said saying F. Ludwig is going too far. That was a comment about the early video that you had a response to. They didn't like that you were being chirped. I really like the one that said Sean's facial reactions are hilarious. And then I can predict what Sean will say based on how he places his face.
How he places his face.
How about that? Yes. Oh, sorry. So I'm agreeing with John. He said it's like Jim from The Office.
Okay.
All right.
And now I'm going to overly think about this.
Yes, and now it's in Sean's head. So his next broadcast, he's going to be thinking like, if I'm going to agree on a point, should it be here? Should I be up here? Should I be at the bottom of the screen? Should I be smiling? Should I give him the crazy death stare? Up next, or just go off the. That's what Luddy does. Just get up and leave. We are going to talk to Sam from the AAC here on the DLLS Dallas Stars postgame show. But first, let's talk about being a diehard. And no, you don't have to get tech support to sign in. It's actually quite easy. But what you do need to do is to go to alldls.com, subscribe, and then you have access, or at least you're supposed to have access to all the great things that we do, whether it's a film VOD breakdown by Luds, Sean and Sam's writing, where a lot of it is behind the diehard paywall, and it's great. Or how about even getting a free t-shirt? We've been starting to see DLS shirts popping up around, whether it's in the studio or out on the street. You get a free promo code, or you get a promo code for a free t-shirt every year, one a year when you subscribe to be a diehard. So make sure you go to alldls.com, select the diehard program, sign up for it. By the way, you get to be in the members only Discord, that Luddy damn Discord. We've got to do one of these days because we got so many games right now. We haven't had a Friday show in a while. So I said we were going to do it Wednesday, and then Ryan from the Bruins came on, and we were such nice guests, welcoming guests, and then we just kicked them right out of town with a 5-goal loss.
We need to do the diehard party.
We do.
When we're going to do the...
They're working on all those things. So DLS, alldls.com, become a diehard. Tons of great reasons to do so. All right. Do we have Sam? Oh, look at that. We do. Hi, Sam.
Oh, it's Sam. It's Sam.
Hello, everybody. Oh, no.
Look at the little crown he's got going on.
Getting the old camera going here.
Got a little crown going on there.
He's got a nice color going on with the lighting up there.
What's with the little...
Yeah, it's the lighting behind me and the lights right here.
It kind of looks like he's almost got the miniature Statue of Liberty crown. Yeah.
I think he's doing that on purpose.
It is. That's a great framing job, though, Sam. Right in the middle of the camera. So what's going on downstairs? 7 goals for the second game in a row. What are the talking points for this one?
Yeah, a lot about, well, first of all, knowing that 7 goals per game is probably not going to keep happening. So understanding that there's still plenty of work to be done. But everyone knows that this was a huge thing for the Stars to get, right? We talked about their scoring, all the struggles, everything that was going on. And now all of a sudden 2 games, they've put up 14 and got a few guys going, right? We got Hintz to get a goal, which was only his second since I think the last Boston game. Robertson gets a good assist on that play. You get Dadonov going a little bit. Osterbeck obviously gets his first goal, which, by the way, Luds, I heard you saying that he did mean to do that. I confirmed with the person that he did not mean to do that. He said
he's just being very modest.
No, I don't think so. When I asked him, he laughed and he said, "Yeah, the old PK poke check is what he called it." He said, "I don't know what I was trying to do, but it worked out well and it was nice."
Okay, but Sam, you know what? With the PK poke check, you're trying to get the puck elevated. Got to get it off the ice.
I'm not taking any skill away from him. I loved it. Beauty, absolute beauty. But yeah, lots of talk about that. Lots of talk about Tyler Seguin. Just not just his 800 points, but Pete DeBoer has talked about him a ton over the last couple of weeks, and specifically his progression from that young, kind of cocky player in Boston to that superstar, but still kind of progressing in the other parts of his game when he was here with with Jamie Benn when they were such a good dynamic duo. Now all Pete talks about is just how the progression of leadership and how Tyler Seguin has just grabbed a hold of that leadership role. He's not only saying the right things, but he's doing the right things every day, and that's really impressed Pete. And I think he said, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today, but he said that the leadership and those sort of compliments were not words that he would have used for Seguin back maybe when he first came to the Stars, but now he has no problem calling him one of the better leaders on this team.
Sam, did he say that about when Pete first came to the Stars, or when Seguin first came to the Stars?
No, talking about when Seguin was first on the Stars. When he originally was.
I was just curious if this was talking about seeing Tyler's leadership growth since Pete's been there versus.
Yeah, no. I think he was loved his leadership since he came here, but specifically Tyler over the last year, and now with the absence of that guy on the right wing and the top line, they needed some people to step up. And Tyler actually told me early in camp, he was like, we're not going to change what we do as a leadership group, right? We're not going to ask Jamie Benn to be a completely different captain or ask Tyler Seguin to change what he does, but just maybe be a little more aware of those moments when that guy would have said something, someone else needs to say something, or that guy would have done something, whatever. So it's been cool to kind of see how those guys have handled it.
We didn't mention it yet tonight, but Seguin scored his 800th career NHL point in the regular season. He did it on a night where, of course, Oscar Beck got his first NHL goal. You mentioned Seguin's leadership. There was a nice piece on the NHL.com website. I believe it was posted yesterday by Emily Benjamin, who's based out of New England, on Seguin.
Great writer.
The development that Seguin has shown from the cocky teenager that had issues, or that the Bruins organization had issues with, to now this leadership role. And I thought it was interesting. The one thing particularly in that was there were comments of, even earlier in his Dallas career, he wasn't necessarily a guy that would speak up that much. And Seguin is such a guy that's so media savvy and seems to always have a good line to throw out there, and very comfortable in front of the camera, that he wouldn't necessarily be speaking up more. But maybe it's because, he had a Jason Spezza or Patrick Sharp or Vern Fiddler in there earlier, and then Joe Pavelski for so long more recently, that thank you.
I was so good.
He was so good.
I was so good. I was behaving.
Yeah.
You say that. We did a whole video clip about Pavelski, which I think sent off like 7 dings during the pregame, right after you left for warmups.
Yeah, that's what happens. See, when I leave, everything goes to hell. Leave Lutz in charge.
Where were we? Seguin's leadership evolution.
You know what? I think if you're going to talk it, you got to walk it. And I think that Tyler, and it takes some of us longer to mature than other people. Some of us, present company included, aren't quite there yet when it comes to maturity. So
talking about me?
Nope. Pointing the finger right at myself. So,
okay.
but I think Tyler has matured over the last few years. I think the injuries have maybe sometimes injuries and the rehab that he's had to go through, you appreciate when you come out of it and you can play and play well, and you're appreciative about being able to play this long and the numbers that you're talking about. And, and I think he's more of a mature player. I mean, yeah, you'd say he was at 29 and 30, and I think sometimes it's longer. He is now a centerpiece in that room. And so what he does, what he says, he has to do.
You see the little squirrely guy over there moving around and waving at the camera?
I was asked by someone on the chat to move my head so that the fans could see this nice, beautiful black banner behind me. So
that's what it is.
I'm here for the fans, everybody. I am here for the fans. By the way, speaking of Tyler Seguin, one of my favorite things, and all the media just started to ask Seguin about other people's stats. Because in the room, whenever we tell him, I remember with Jamie when we asked about the faceoffs, we were like, "Hey, Jamie went 16 for 16," and he goes, "No, he didn't. He lost one." So tonight we said Dadonov is 4 for 5 on penalty shots in his career, and Sagan was shocked, like shocked. What? You serious? He was all freaked out about it. And then Dadonov sat down because we talked to him next. So Dadonov was across the room. Sagan just stopped the interview and goes, "You're 4 for 5 in the shoot." So it's just such a hilarious dynamic. But Dadonov actually said to me, he said, "I thought I was 5 for 6." So he was aware of it. But I don't know if anyone else was. And then Pete DeBoer with a really funny comment after he said, which is really interesting because if you look at Dadonov's stats, he's notoriously bad on breakaways. Like he seems to never score on breakaways. And Pete said that he didn't know that he had that in him because he's so good at penalty shots and not good at breakaways. He said, if we didn't have such high skill up the top of the lineup, maybe Dadonov could crack that top 3 or 4 on the shootout, but not right now.
They just keep scoring 7. They're not going to have to worry about any shootouts.
Not a lot of shootouts to put up that number.
No, there's not. It's the other. Can we real quick? I just wanted to point out. So the 800 point number, like that's really impressive. Like so, I looked it up while Sam was talking here. Like so, from Tyler's draft class, from the 2010 draft class, he's the first player from that class to hit 800 points. The next closest person in his class, point wise, is Taylor Hall at 703, 97 points away. Like. You think about just like from so using the 2010 draft class, right? 210 people drafted. You're the only one that gets 8. Like it really is a pretty remarkable achievement to have that type of longevity and production. So I just want to kind of note that because
hey, Sean, what's the games played between those two?
Sagan's played 979. So tonight was 980, and then Hall's at 848.
Yeah, because Taylor Hall seems like he's been hurt.
Yeah.
More often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, Sean. We asked him about that, and he said while he doesn't really care about those numbers, he actually didn't know. He said his wife told him. He didn't know until after that last game with Pittsburgh. His wife texted him and said, "You're at 799." So he doesn't care about those kind of stats, right? But he did say that what Sean just said, the longevity is the important part there, right? The fact that he was able to keep playing and be productive until he got all the way to 800 was the key, instead of looking at it as like the numbers, which I think is what Sean's pointing out. It's a huge accomplishment for someone's
he
career.
Doesn't care about numbers? Do we really believe?
This is the guy who, if you brought up a random goal, if you're like, hey, do you remember that goal you scored against this team on that? He will go more in depth for you and tell you exactly what happened. So he may not. Maybe the mechanism in his head doesn't log them number-wise, so he doesn't know that he had his 800 saved in his head, but he's got all 800 points saved in his head. If you were to be like, oh, do you remember this Tuesday in Arizona from 2017? He'll tell you exactly what happened on Tuesday in November in 2017. So they're all there. I just maybe the memory system just doesn't attach a number to it. But yeah.
Well, let me ask the three of you guys, because you're the smart one. Let's just say Tyler Seguin wins another cup. Tyler Seguin gets to 1,000 points.
So it's 200 more points.
Oh no!
My question is,
he's gonna hit 1,000 games in 20
Sean,
games.
you gotta leave.
But is he gonna be a Hall of Famer?
This is
Come on,
why
Sean.
this is why I jumped out of the video on demand conversation about Hall of Fame stuff the other day.
Yeah, I don't know.
I knew you wouldn't know. I was asking Sean. Because I know he hates these questions.
You said you were asking the three of us because we're smart.
Well, I just made it sound like I was including you guys. I wanted to hear from Sean.
Are Alexander McGillamy in the Hockey Hall of Fame yet?
No, not yet.
No.
So like that's my answer right now on any Hockey Hall of Fame thing. Is Alexander McGillamy in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
As long as that answer is no. Before we did our post-show segment on that, Luddy literally said he doesn't know why McGillamy isn't in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
So I agree with him, but it's
nuts.
It's absolutely
nuts.
Crazy. So that I'm just gonna keep using that as my point to fight against how the Hockey Hall of Fame is inducted and voted in. So that's.
John goes, Sean, can we talk about lines?
Yeah, I'd rather talk about lines than the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, I want you to remember that the next time he complains about a line discussion, just say, you want to go back to the Hall of Fame? And he'll immediately capitulate and talk about lines. Just to know how rare 800 points really is. So I just did a quick look on the NHL website. 7,705 players have played at least one game in NHL history in the regular season. So over 7,700 players have played an NHL game. Only 188 have scored 800 or more points. Tyler Seguin is actually at 801 now, so he is 187th all time in NHL scoring. Think about that. That is a fraction of the total number of players that have played in the NHL. So it's a big
impressive
number, and it's not just a round number. It's
How many of those guys are in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, that's going to take me more than a few seconds to go through that.
Yeah. Oh, and just get that up real quick. We'll give you a minute.
Yeah, we'll be right on that.
Is Claude Giroux a Hall of Famer? Claude Giroux, 1,078 points.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What did you say, Luds? You kind of have to win something.
Yeah.
Well, you have to win. You have to win a major award, which Tyler hasn't. Jamie's won a scoring title.
Yep.
Jamie has not won a bit, but you have to win internationally. You have to win whether it's a league MVP scoring thing. You got to have. Well, you don't have to, but
it helps.
But it helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Pat Verbeek has, because I just know Luds loves this guy.
Yeah, that's another one. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So you're poking the bear, and he's poking you right back.
Yeah, I know. And you just said you didn't want to talk about it, but Sean, are you wondering why Beaker's not in too, or at least considered for it?
Yeah, I don't know why he's not in. I don't know why McGillivray's not in. I don't know why Rod Brendamore's not in. I don't know. I don't understand any of that. So that's.
I think it's kind of like, when you go to Disney World and there's that ride and you're underneath the bar, you can't get on the ride. He might be under the heights bar or something like that. Ask Sam about that. Say Sam.
Hey, Sean, I'm pretty sure, but Tyler Seguin was not on that Canada team that won gold with Benn in 2014, right?
No, he was not.
It was just Benn. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was just Benn on the team.
So he hasn't won a gold, right?
No.
I was just skimming the pregame talking points because sometimes I like to revisit them to see if anything that we highlighted before the game is relevant afterwards, or if anything's been decided or anything. And the one thing we didn't get to in the pregame that I just have to bring up individually, because we talked about his line, is Mason Marchment. He had a 5-point game, 1 game removed from taking a puck into the face in Winnipeg. And we talked about how much confidence he's playing with. Tonight, he had 2 more points. So he has 7 points in his last 2 games. He's taken over the team assist lead from Stankoven because he has 5 assists in 2 games. That helps.
The question is he going to be number 1 or 2 star this week?
For the Stars or for the league?
League.
You think so?
Sure. I mean,
he's right up there. But Duchesne is right up there. He's been lighting it up. He's got a couple of points tonight again with a goal and an assist. He's leading the team in scoring. But
you score 14 goals in 2 games, you're probably going to have a few guys that are on that list, right?
My question is this right now the best that Mason Marchment's been playing in his Dallas Stars career?
Yes. He's having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he's confident, but I think he's having fun.
Yeah. He's demanding the puck, too. I mean, he always has one that's pretty loud on the ice, but it is so noticeable. As soon as he enters the zone, he is slamming his stick on the ice and wanting that puck. And I just think that line, how much have we talked about it? I literally did not put it in my 3 thoughts tonight because I'm just sick of writing about that line every single day. But it's just every time I see him play, they impress me so much. And tonight, this was one of their better games that I've seen them play for sure as a line. Almost every single time they're on the ice, basically other than that Duchesne slip that led to the goal, they controlled the puck, they forechecked hard, and they created chances. And Mason Marchment is at the center of almost every single one of those chances. And what a great pass to Duchesne to start, and then what a shot by Duchesne. That was a beauty.
I think he's not as out of control, which is interesting because he's constantly a guy with his unique skating style and he's a big body, gets in. There's a lot of times where he's sort of playing on the edge of, even early this season, took a couple penalties that weren't great, looked like he was falling down every other shift. The last couple of games, even that looks different. Is that crazy to say? Because it looks like he's just even more in command of himself, in control.
It's also one of the other words of the day that Lud's used is maturity, right? Like Marchment is a guy who has really, now we'll see consistency as the season goes, but was really matured into a role and matured into a game. Like, this is a guy who has pushed the line before on things and been. I think he's the only player on the Stars in recent years who was on the NHL's divers list at one point. Because they actually, if you dive, you take enough penalties for diving. Yeah. So he was one of the only guys that was on that list who was as a previous offender for that. So, Yeah, like it's maturity. Like I think it's confidence and maturity, using the buzzwords that Luds has been using all show. So
I got a buzzword. I got a buzzword for you right now. Let's wrap this thing up.
We have 2 things left to do.
We got to talk about quality scoring chances.
No, as a matter of fact, we have 3 things to do. The first is we have to do the Herman Marshall marquee moment of the game.
There's no question. Oh,
pick up your favorite bottle at your closest goody liquor store.
Oscar Beck. Same thing with Maverick Bork. You score your first NHL goal. I don't care if he wants to call it a PK poke check or whatever. He meant to do that. Oscar, I believe that you meant to do it. He deserves to be he deserves to have a swig out of this bottle. Yep, you do.
You'll do it for him.
Okay.
For every bottle of single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, Herman Marshall donates 15% of its revenue to the Guns N' Hoses Foundation of North Texas. For those who went before, stop in to your closest goody liquor store to find your favorite bottle. All right, 2 more things on the agenda. 1, John, if you happen to look at the end of the chat, you'll see your namesake, John, wrote something about Sam staying late, and I want to read it. Sam, you got to look at the screen. It says, Sam, do you stay late to take home the leftover popcorn at the AAC?
Do I stay? If anyone takes home leftover snacks and candy from the AAC, it's the guy sitting in a light blue shirt right on the set there, not Sam. No, I do not. I do get some good candy. I got one of these. These are my go-to while I'm writing my 3 thoughts. The Jolly Rancher lollipops.
Nice.
Are they still putting the bucket of beers in the press box?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
yes.
good.
What?
It's still a proper.
What?
It's still a proper society.
Okay,
Good.
Sean,
Yes.
please tell Luds what happens because he's never been in the press box.
I've been up there. I don't like being up there.
At the end of a game.
No, hell no.
Right. Well, Sean, tell him what happens.
You go. You finish your post game stuff. You come back upstairs. As the minute you get off the elevator, there's a bucket of beers with right there in the press box. You grab a beer, you take it, and then you drink it while writing. That is how
I've
the
had
job is
5
done.
beers at the closest bar by the time you get out of that elevator.
Yeah, and that's fine. But
no chance. You're sitting right there. I'm looking at you.
You know what I got though. Hey, why can't we have a bucket of beers here? We got the Rugged Road cooler, nothing in it.
Ardell goes, Sam takes home leftover concessions to his unfurnished apartment.
You people with my apartment. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go tomorrow. Oh, by the way, no practice tomorrow. FYI, canceled practice. They're just flying in Minnesota. But
hey, you know what? You know what tomorrow is, Sam? It's game day.
Friday.
It's game day.
Or
you're not going to be there again, Sam.
I'm going to be in Austin. How many times do I got to tell you this, Leds? If you want me to play from 3 hours away, I'll do it. I'll play on one leg.
It won't be noticeably different from in person.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Last thing. We showed it earlier, but I think because of production value, we've got to put it all together. Before today's show, we got a message from a friend from Boston, from a producer, John, and he chirped Luds. And for those of you that didn't see it earlier, here's the initial shout out. And we're going to have the response. But before we do that, a reminder, we have a game on Saturday in Minnesota as the Stars will play the Wild for the first time. And Luddy, as we're vamping here, it's a 6:30 pregame show, 7 o'clock game, and of course postgame afterwards. But the Wild have been playing much better hockey than I think many people outside of Minnesota expected.
Okay, I'm going to go around the horn. Sean, Kaprizov, on an 8-year deal, what's his AAV?
Ooh. An 8-year deal, AV 9.96.
Sam?
Sorry, 9.7. I'm going 9.7 because that's his number. They're gonna go with the dumb. I'm gonna go 9.7.
It's like a Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you a decimal too. I'm gonna say 10.2 because the Wild grossly overpay their players very often. Maybe he'll be the next one they're paying down the line, like Ryan Suter.
I feel like there's a legit chance that they're afraid that they keep saying we're not going to lose them because nobody can give them the term that we can, right? It's got to be double digits. It's got to be 10 plus. I'm with you, Sam. Not because I love the 9.7 for his numerical symmetry, but Yeah, Luddy, I think it's got to be like 10 and a half.
Okay.
He especially if he plays the rest of the season the way he started, which is literally throwing the franchise on his shoulders and saying, I can lead you to the playoffs. Because I don't remember what your picks were. I don't think I had Minnesota in the playoff spot.
I did not.
Did you guys, either of you have Minnesota at the preseason picks? Beginning of season?
I don't think so.
No.
So I'm telling you, if you can carry your team like that, you deserve 10 plus.
I say 12.
Ooh.
Yep,
See,
I'm going.
those are all the right answers. Those are all the right answers. Mine was just the fun
Yes.
numbers answer.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna say 20.
Okay,
I can be
Sam,
fun
you're
too,
being
Sean.
ridiculous. Here we go. Here's the way to send off today's DLLS Dallas Stars
geez.
post-game show. Back-to-back 7-goal efforts for the Stars.
Tyler Seguin, Otta, Cred Ludwig, Dallas. Let's go Bees.
Hey, Max.
We all silly like the mayor.